All right, this is vlog 1.2, if I'm going video game nerd style. This is like a beginner's like tips for if you're in my shoes. Like I knew nothing. Let me say that I don't know how photo structures work. I don't know what a JSON is. I didn't even know the difference in Go.apps when I downloaded it because it was like, do you want the .NET version or do you want this other version? Here's how I've learned everything. I just asked Claude Web here. So you can see like basically it tells me what to do, tells me what to download. It literally is like so basic and I'm just following this. So these videos won't probably be like very how-to driven. Maybe I'll share my chat histories and you can just go through those and see what happened. But like every time I don't know what to do, I just ask it what to do and it just gives me like super basic answers. Now, remember in the last video, I talked about like the prompt that I saved to this project. I told it, explain things basic, assume I know nothing. I'm a beginner. That way it gives me these very point by point things. So if you are an expert or you do know what you're doing, you can adjust that prompt and it'll maybe tell you at the level of knowledge that you have. So you can see like here, everything that I'm doing is just super simple. It asks me questions, I answer, and we just go through this process until I basically hit the wall. And this was something that I did for about a week or so, or 2 weeks, is just using Claude Web. Hitting the wall means you run out of context. So every chat in any of these tools has a context window. This is how much information it can store and reference, and it knows. It's like its brain, its knowledge, its memory. When you're just doing day-to-day stuff, you don't really fill it up and you usually start new chats. And every time you start a new chat, it's a fresh context window. But coding and this process fills these windows fast. So for the first week or two, I was like struggling because I would get like halfway through something and then it would just say, sorry, full context windows maxed out. You got to start a new chat. And then I had this process where I would actually create a summary of what I did in a file, .md file, which is a markdown file. I would upload that to the new chat so it knew where we were at. And then it was just like ping pong match. Spoiler alert, I learned how to use Claude Code and Claude Web. So I do most of my work in Claude Code. And then the web part is like troubleshooting, ideas, content creation. I'll talk about that another day. But back to this, as you're getting started, really just follow the plan that you're given. Tell it your intent. Tell it what you want to do. Tell it what you want to create. And then it'll start to create it. And when you're working just in Claude Web, it's a little clunky because you have to use the file system tools. You can't use the terminal tools. But eventually it figures it out and you just start creating. And you just see here, do I want to do this or this? And I just said, you do everything. All right, great. I'm going to start building it. And it starts to write the files. It saves them in the game folder and it just starts building it. And then I'm just bouncing back and forth between the game and this, running it. Does it work? If not, I copy and paste an error. What's the error? It fixes it, back and forth. And then I hit this conversation maximum length. And at this point, when I'm just using Claude Web, I would say, okay, let's take this, create a summary, and start a new chat. That's not actually what you should be doing. I learned. I'm going to talk about that in my next video, but this is just a little helpful little tip here because I'm probably not going to go through every little granular step. I'm just going to be showing you as we go. And then Godot starts to look like this. Now, I'm way further along than the videos, so you're going to see a ton more stuff. I didn't start documenting until about 2 weeks in, but you can see like all of this, I don't even really know. And actually my very first like day, I was in this tool editing things in this window and creating stuff. And then I realized Claude could do it. So I haven't done that since the first day because it could just make the files. That's what you wanted to do. All right. That's it for this addendum to my first devlog.